If water is constantly leaking from your two-handle bathroom or kitchen faucet, here are the tools you'll need for this job. A flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, a wrench, and a seat removal tool. First, you'll need to determine the source of the problem. If water is leaking from underneath the handle onto the counter, the stem of whichever handle is leaking needs to be replaced. If water is dripping from the faucet, you'll need to determine which stem needs to be replaced. To do this, turn off the hot water supply valve under the sink. If the water is still dripping, that means you need to replace the cold stem, which is the stem in the right handle. If the water stops dripping when you turned off the hot water valve, then that means you need to replace the hot stem, which is the stem in the left handle. Since we turned off the hot water supply valve and the water is still dripping, we'll focus on the stem in the right handle. Once you determine the trouble stem, you'll need to turn off the water. Next, remove the handle with a Phillips head screwdriver so that the stem is visible. Once visible, there are a couple of ways to remove the stem, depending on the type of stem your faucet uses. If you have a plastic stem, you'll need to unscrew the top cap and pop out the stem. A few brass stems need to be removed this way as well, so be sure to examine your stem to determine which removal method is appropriate. If you have a brass stem, you'll need to remove it by using a wrench to rotate it in the off direction until it threads out entirely. Once removed, you'll need to take your stem to your local retailer and use the Perfect Match locator system to easily locate your replacement part. First, simply measure your stem by using the gauge to find your length. Once you have the length, this will serve as the first digit in the stem identification number. In this instance, the first digit is 3 because the stem length measures 3. Next, identify the handle broach of the stem by fitting the stem into the display unit in alphabetical order until you find a snug fit. For this stem, the corresponding letter is H, which serves as the second digit in the stem identification number. With the first 2 digits identified, you can now use the Danco Perfect Match book to find the stem you need. Open the picture book to the length corresponding to your stem. Next, find the broach group with your letter. Match your stem to the photograph. The Perfect Match book will also identify the other replacement parts associated with your stem. The stems are displayed in order by the first and second digits. Keep in mind that H and C in the last digits of the stem identification number designate hot or cold for two-handle faucets. If a stem is marked HC, it can be used in either handle. If you have round handles that turn in the same direction, they use hot stems, even in the cold handle. However, lever handles will need either a hot or cold stem for the appropriate handle because they turn in different directions. Once you have identified and purchased your new stem, you can install it into your faucet. You should also replace the seat at this time, which is included in the package with each new stem. You can remove and replace the seat with an Allen wrench or seat removal tool. Turn the seat counterclockwise to loosen, clockwise to tighten. To install the new stem, you'll need to do the opposite of what you did to remove it. If you have a brass stem, rotate it in the on direction until it threads in entirely. If you have a plastic stem, put the stem in and screw on the top cap. Now is a great time to upgrade your faucet's appearance with universal metal handles. To install the new universal handles, simply place the handle adapter over the stem and tighten. Next, place the new handle on the adapter and insert the handle screw into the washer, then into the handle and tighten. Lastly, place the new index button on the handle. Once the new stem, seat, and handles are installed, turn the water back on and check to ensure the leak has been fixed.